ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. With Passover very much on our minds, if you have a copy of the prayer book with you, I invite you to turn to page 361. If you don't, there are just 5 words. We were once slaves, now we are free people. Avadim hayinu. Avadim hayinu. Ata b'nei chorim. Ata b'nei chorim. And with this song, our Seder formally begins. And with this song, we recognize how aspirational are the goals of our Seder observance. They are guidelines for how we might arrange our lives so as to bring freedom to all of humanity, freedom from all that constricts and limits us. Avadim hayinu, hayinu, ata b'nei chorin, b'nei chorin. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin. Avadim hayinu, ata b'nei chorin, b'nei chorin. Ata b'nei chorin, b'nei chorin.
Shabbat Shalom. Wonderful to be together, even if it's remotely. You may have noticed my virtual background. No, I'm not sitting in the chapel right now, but I was able to fix our technology in such a way to create a background on this Zoom call. So that's exciting for me to feel like I'm in the chapel with you and with Cantor Sager right now. But due to physical distancing, I am not there. I'm actually coming to you from my home, as is Cantor Sager. While we're not a temple, we're going to have a service. And just like last week, the service will be a little more abbreviated than our regular normal services are. Cantor Sager and I have determined certain landmarks of the service that we are going to touch on today that will be most familiar to you, we're sure. With that said, I know I think Cantor Sager is going to try to mention some page numbers at our service today for those of you who have the Mishkan Tefillah prayer book in your homes. So we're looking forward to praying with you again at this extraordinary time. We Jews find ways to adjust and adapt and to be pliable to our current circumstances. This has been our history, our lives for more than 4,000 years. And perhaps it is a reason why we have survived to this day, is because we have been able to meet the challenges of the day with great grace and with the ability to move in new directions and be creative. And that's what we're doing here today. We're just glad you could join with us. Let us continue now with Shema Yisrael, page 34 in your prayer books.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
And how appropriate is it that our next song that we will sing comes from scripture from the book of Exodus, and it is related directly to our Passover Seder, to this festival of Passover. It is Micha Mocha, when we were being chased by Pharaoh and all the chariots and all of Pharaoh's men. And we made it across that Red Sea. And you know, when the people of Israel look back, the text says that they saw Mitzrayim, they saw Egypt. It didn't even say that they saw people, they saw chariots. It says that they saw all of Egypt. And that's how it feels right now for many of us. It feels like so overwhelming, as if a nation of virus has come to attack us. It's hard to identify it as a single thing. It feels like one big thing. It feels overwhelming and frightening, just as the Hebrews felt when they were leaving Egypt, overwhelmed, frightened, wondering what the next day would bring, wondering if they would ever survive, what the world would look like on the other side of that daunting Red Sea. But they crossed over and they found redemption. And so too will we. This day will end, this current moment will end, and we will find ourselves on the shores of the sea dancing, like Miriam did with her timbrels, like the people of Israel did, singing this song.
And even as the text comes out of the story of the Exodus, so does this melody come out of our celebration of Passover. Micha Mocha Eilim Adonai, Micha Mocha Neder HaKodesh, Nora Tehilot Osei Ela Mahutecha Raulanacha Okay, Ayam Lifnei Moshe uMiriam Zaili Anu ve'amu Adonai Imloch Leolam Vaed.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom. God, as we lie down to sleep at night, please promise us that we'll be able to wake up to a new day, to be able to say before you, thank you for giving us this day of rest, this day of blessing, this day where we can take another breath. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'Shalom Ve'amideinu Shomreinu L'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us in wisdom
compassion and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom. V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu Lishalom. V'hamidenu Shomreinu L'chaim. L'chaim. L'chaim.
Are you finding ways to take care of yourself? Finding ways to meditate, to just reflect, to sit, to do something that feeds your soul? We encourage you to do that, to find those ways, as your clergy are striving to find those ways to keep ourselves balanced. We are very much like you. In fact, we're just like you. Human beings struggling to find our way in an imperfect world, a world that has made us feel quite unmoored, and it's unpredictable. And so join us as we strive to find these ways to take care of ourselves so we can take care of others. Let us take this moment of silent prayer, and maybe we can all think about whatever we wish to think of, but one of the things that I know I'm focusing on these days is, what am I doing to care for myself so I can care for my family, my loved ones, for my community? We pause for a few moments as we reflect and consider those questions.
Page 60 in our prayer book, or let us just sing from our hearts.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amacha, Kasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amacha, Kasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amacha, Kasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amacha, Kasim Leolam. V'tov einacha levarech et Amacha Yisrael. Bechol עת ובכל שעה ישלומך. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amacha, Kasim Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amecha, Hasim Leolam, Hasim Leolam, Hasim Leolam.
And now we continue with Tefillat Mishaberach, our prayer for healing. And we think about those in our community who are in need of healing. We mention their names now: Ray Basson, Adam Beskind, Rita Blaugrund, B. Blumenthal, Richard Bogomoni, Daniel Boyle, Jacob Butsey, Joyce Braun, Lisa Chinsky, Jeannie Epstein, George Fendel, Nina Fisher, Jack Flater, Don Friedland, Tom First, David Goldfein, Carol Jacobson, Henry Jacobson, Edith Isaacs, Ethan Kadish, Patricia Kipstool, Dennis Klein, Michael Kleinman, Larry Kravitz, Katie Culnane, Sidney Lappin, Alan Levetter, Charlie Lewis, Linda Lovell, Maximilian Ma, Claudia Marmaros, Peter Marmaros, Scott Miller, Tim Nenig, Rabbi Robert A. Nosenchuk, David Novins, Rosemary Nunweiler, Christine Palak, Gerald Palak, Dylan Pollock, Jewel Price, Elsie Rothman, David Schlein, Stephen Schlein, Linda Snyderman, Dorothy Samoji, Tootie Stewart, Hadassah Bat Yosef Visara, Michelle Tarzi, Brenda Tinker, Isabel Wolf, Joyce Zabel, Aharon Melech Ben Shmuel V'Rivka Miriam, Aliza Bat Yitzchak Chaim HaKohen V'Zelda Jenny, Mara Bat Rachel, Rivka Bat Freda Leah. Even though we know this list is long, we also know it's not exhaustive. We'd like to take a moment and invite you to share the name of someone you're thinking of at this time. And if you're thinking of yourself, we invite you to share your name as well. Just let's pause as we think about the dear ones in our life who might need this prayer of healing. We also think about those who suffer from illness that is felt but can't always be seen. And we want to let everybody know in that category that we see you. Let's pause for a few moments. And now we continue with Tefillat Mishaberach. Page 258.
Again, a song that we carry with us constantly now. Or actually page 253, if you have your prayer book.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor Bracha Limoteinu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishaberach Imoteinu Mekor Bracha Loteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We hold in our hearts all those who are in need of healing. I'd like to share with you this poem that our colleague, Rabbi Naomi Levy, wrote called Enough, God. Let those who are ill find healing. Dayenu. Let our worries be calmed. Dayenu. Let the weak and the vulnerable be protected. Dayenu. Let all healers find paths to bring healing. Dayenu. Let scientists grasp a higher knowing that will lead to a cure. Dayenu. Let there be an end to this plague, God. Dayenu. Fill our hearts with hope and our souls with faith, our bodies with health and our homes with love. Unite our world to bring on a day of freedom. Let the seeds of rebirth take root tonight and grow in blessings in your light. Dayenu. Enough, God. Amen. I'd like to share a short Devar Torah with you tonight as we're heading into another week of Shabbat. This Sabbath, known as Shabbat Hagadol, carries significant importance because it is the last Shabbat before the festival of Passover. We know many of you will be gathering together in some way, probably virtually, on Wednesday evening for the first Seder, and perhaps on Thursday night with us for our temple's virtual Seder. In one of the Seder's most memorable moments, we open up our doors for Elijah the prophet. Elijah is a mythic figure in Jewish tradition. We set aside a special chair for Elijah at a bris or brit milah, and at the conclusion of Shabbat, we sing Eliyahu Hanavi at the Havdalah ceremony. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Hagiladi. Sing that melody, trusting that the great prophet will return to us. The appearance of Elijah, in fact, is a sign that we will all be redeemed. There is something so comforting and familiar about beckoning Elijah each year at our Passover Seders. And yet, a challenging passage follows just after we open our doors for Elijah. In the traditional Passover Haggadah canon, it features a passage called Shfoch Hamatcha. Hard to say in Hebrew, harsh to say, and also harsh to hear. Shfoch Hamatcha. Its meaning? Well, it entreats God, pour out your wrath upon the nations who despise the Jews. Shfoch Hamatcha. It is a jolting passage, particularly because our Seders are typically peaceful gatherings. Why include such a strong and troubling passage at our sweet Seders? Why proclaim to God, pour out your wrath? Our sages believe that speaking the words of shvoch is both justified and cathartic. At times when Jews were oppressed and victims of violence, which sadly still happens today, sharing the shvoch passage acknowledges the pain, the anger, the loss we have experienced as Jews. In lieu of practicing violence against our enemies, this passage directs us to use our words, to pour out our feelings of resentment and anger in the presence of loving family and friends. The comfort of the home is a safe place to voice our vulnerabilities, our upset. With the door opened, we can then unload the hurts and perhaps even embrace them as part of our reality too. Friends, magnitude of anti-Semitism is not at the center of our chief concerns at this moment. In this moment, every one of us is consumed with the pressures of the everyday in the face of a worrisome virus. Some of us have been impacted by the sudden economic downturn. Others are filled with disappointment at having to postpone or cancel a sacred event or simcha, and still others. Others are mourning loved ones who have already fallen victim to COVID-19, some in critical care in our hospitals, others vulnerable in their residences, and some sadly have succumbed to this modern day. It saddens me to share that our Fairmount Temple community has already been gravely touched by this virus. It is a tough time, and we have every right to feel sadness, to feel hurt, and even to cry. I've had my moments too. Our world has been turned upside down. And sometimes all we can do is release what we are feeling instead of holding it in. This year, at your Seder, whether it's filled with a number of people in your home, or it's just you, I encourage you to take a pause when you open the door for Elijah, to let those hurts out. Pour them out. It is in the acknowledgement of these feelings that we might ultimately be whole again. It will take some time, but Elijah's visit will surely bring about a vision of redemption made real. When we can finally walk out of our doorways, not in fear, but with the confidence that we will once again find joy in our beautiful world. Now we turn to our Mourner's Kaddish. If you're holding a prayer book, it can be found on page 294. 294. We'd like to remember those who died in the last 30 days in the period of Shiva and the period of Shloshim. We remember David Brule, Suzanne Chloe, Janet P. Gilberg, Alvin L. Gray, Jeffrey Lavin, Linda Joint, Lucille J. Rosenberg, Sally Schneeweiss, Robert Tanzer, Henry Zucker.
And those for whom we are observing a yahrzeit this Shabbat: Florence B. Bassett, Merle Benjamin, Rachel Burles, Helen Newman, Shan Farber Blair, Estelle Ahrens Blattner, Lester Blauschild, Minnie Berger, Irving Chelm, Joseph Einhorn, Arthur Elsoffer, Jean Feldman, Della G. Finkel, Margaret Fisher, Fanny B. Fishman, Bernard Freilich, Sophie Freilich, Sharon R. Freemuth, Rhea June Fried, Irene Dietz Garfinkel, Dora Geller, Harry Goldstein, Stephanie Greenfeld, Jacob William Grodin, Jason Halley, Rosalind Hyman, Selma G. Kane.
Louis H. Klassman, Stephanie Lee Klein, Joseph Harvey Corman, Sadie J. Kusid, Esther Kramer, Ida Kreinberg, Clara M. Krentzman, Samuel A. Landy, Adele Lazarus, Edward Joseph Lulliveld, Rose Levin, Rose Levin, Nathan Lichtenstein, Gloria Lightman, Harold A. Lipton, William P. Livingston, Robert J. Lusher, Mina Mechol, Arthur A. Miller, Rebecca Miller, Philip Newman.
Arnold N. Palmer, May Pavel, Dr. Walter E. Phillips, Mildred Bonhard Reitman, Lucille Ripner, Dorothy Loveman Rose, Lillian Roth, Mark Howard Roth, Fanny Rosenthal, Joseph E. Schwartzman, Louis Say, Charles H. Sherman, Oladar Shalaman, Simon Skall, Rose Gruber Wiener, Bertha Warren, Sandra Lisa Wexler, Adolph Weinberg, Leo Weil, Frida Winston, Sylvia Wintner.
If we have omitted a name or mispronounced a name, we invite you to share that name. At this time, we're going to leave a moment of open space for you to share that name. We also remember those who have no one to say Kaddish for them, so we'll share this prayer on their behalf. If you are a mourner, we invite you at this time to stand, if you are able, in your home as we recite the Mourner's Kaddish together. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah. Be'alma divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechom uv'yomechom. Uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'galau v'zman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olomeo maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kodesha. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru.
Amen.
Yahei shalom araba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromah, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
It's the source of peace, and peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved. And we say together,
Amen.
Amen. We know it's a new exercise for all of us to not be together physically and to be able to look into each other's eyes, and especially if you're a mourner, or if you're worried about someone and you're thinking about them during the Misha Berach prayer, and to give a hug, or just even a knowing glance from afar, to know that we're holding each other. But we want you to know that we're holding you, and we see you, and we're with you. And we're very much actively seeking to be with you. So we hope you feel that, because we feel that. We feel you with us. We want you to know that that's reciprocated. And as we're starting to turn to the conclusion of this abbreviated service, it's really a pleasure to have modern technology to be able to reach each other in these imperfect ways. And we're going to employ similar kind of technology. Actually, this Zoom call is being recorded and uploaded for you. But we're going to go live on the second night of Passover for our second night Seder on the evening of April 9th at 7 o'clock. And we really hope you can join us. There is a link that will be sent to you once you RSVP to my assistant, my assistant, Rebecca Egolf. And I know she'd be happy to send you all the information once she gets your email. You can reach her at regolf, regolf @fairmounttemple.org. And if you're having trouble in any way, feel free to send me an email or call the office. We'll get you connected. It's Cantor Sager as well. We want to make that happen. We want to, hopefully you're receiving our e-blasts, which we've been sending out on a weekly basis, which is more frequent than our normal sort of rhythm. But we felt like that's important right now to maintain our contact with you and let you know what's going on at Temple. If for some reason you're not receiving our e-blasts, please reach out to us. Again, you can reach out to Rebecca, you can reach out to Candace Sager, myself, and we will get that information in the right hands so you can receive our e-blasts. Other ways to stay in touch with us are through our Facebook. We know many of you are on Facebook, but maybe not all of you. If you do not have a Facebook account and you're not allergic to getting one, we would certainly invite you to do so. We have an Anshe Chesed Fairmount Temple page, which we encourage you to like. And then, of course, Candace Sager and myself, as well as all of our clergy, Rabbi Chernow Reeder and Rabbi Nosenchuk, we all have Facebook accounts. So if you friend us, we will respond and confirm that, and that way you can also see what we post. Candace Sager's been posting meditation sessions she's been leading for the last couple of weeks, and they've been very calming, and really just what the doctor ordered for some of us who just want a way to slow down and get perspective on life. So if you'd like to, to see one of her meditations, you can find them on Facebook for sure. And yeah, so we're going to be coming to you every week. And a service like this, we're always open to feedback. So feel free to share with us. And if you're coming in late to the service for some reason and you're seeing this background, once again, I am not sitting in our chapel, but I have that as a virtual background on my phone. I'm actually sitting in my home, just as Candace Sager is sitting in hers. But I thought we could give everybody a little taste of the familiar. Finally, we're going to conclude our service the way we usually begin our service, but we've really kind of enjoyed mixing it up a little bit and doing our candle blessing and our blessing over the wine at the end of services. So Candace Sager has a setup right in her home of what she does, of where she's has her candles. And we invite you to join in the lighting of the Shabbat candles. That's good, Ken. That's good,
just
Ken.
a word.
Yeah.
Just a word that if you see anything identified in the e-blast that indicates it's going to be on Facebook and you really don't have access to Facebook, again, let us know. There is usually another link that we can send to you, so that you don't have to rely solely on the Facebook source. And I know that with a combination of our imaginations and our yearnings and our technology, there is a sense of community. And for me, it is never as strong as, not never, but in the process of this service, the lighting of the candles. Just as we welcome Shabbat, I can imagine the Sabbath entering all of your homes, all of your hearts. And we even invoke the angels of Shabbat to watch over us this night, and please God in the week and the weeks to come. So let us join together wherever we are, because we really are together. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav
V'tzivanu, v'tzivanu, l'hadlik ner. V'tzivanu, v'tzivanu, l'hadlik ner. V'tzivanu, v'tzivanu, l'hadlik ner. Shabbat. And we join together in Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei ori agafen. Amen. To another week of life, l'chaim.
So what kind of wine do you have today? Is it red or white? Looks red.
It looks red, but actually, Rabbi, it is white. It looks red because the glass is red.
Oh, gotcha.
And I have this wonderful cup that says Borei Pari Hagafen etched in the glass. And this was a gift to me many years ago. And it's so big that it's hard to use it on a regular basis, but this is a great opportunity.
It's very pretty.
Thank you.
I really like it. I
do
know
love
a lot of people are imbibing with wine these days. Just help them make it through a little bit. But for sacramental purposes, we certainly encourage you to experience some Shabbat joy, which is part of drinking the wine.
And this coming week, we can, I mean, the next ritual wine we will be drinking is Wednesday night. And if we do the 2 nights, that's 8 cups right there that are just gratis. They're free for you. So
that's right. There's lots of opportunities to drink. Again, if you're able to drink, and if you're not, you can always use grape juice. Just know that if you don't do alcohol, you are allowed to drink with grape juice. And I guess at this time, since we're talking about the Siddharim, we're talking about the Seders, and we want to share with you what I know a lot of our colleagues are sharing these days, which is we really encourage you to stay in your homes and to not engage in big gatherings with people. And we know that they can be kind of sticky sometimes, particularly with close family members who might want to be with you, and yet you might be feeling nervous about anybody sort of getting something from somebody else and getting too physically close. And so we encourage you to be really honest with family members about how you feel. And it's not going to be a regular Passover Seder this year. And so we also want to take you off the hook and let you know that it's okay if the Seder plate doesn't look perfect, and if you don't have all the ingredients for everything, and if it's hard for you to get out of the house and go shopping, or it's okay. It's okay. And that's part of why we're doing a second night Seder. So your clergy will have Seder plates in front of you. So we can do it on your behalf. But we just want you to be safe, and we also want you to have the honest conversations with family to make sure that everybody feels and stays safe. If you have any questions about that, I know Kenner Sager and I, Rabbi Chernow Reader, would all be happy to answer them.
I would just add that there is a tremendous amount of material coming out of the Jewish community encouraging everyone to stay in their homes, not to gather, to resist that instinct this year, and really to practice safety and practice the saving of lives, which is the ultimate value in Jewish tradition.
Great, thank you for that. And I don't know if you've gotten, but we're very serious about this. So we want to make sure to sort of underline these points, really important. Finally, I'd just like to say that we know that many of you are fine and good and being looked on by family, and if they can't be with you physically, they're calling you, they're reaching out to you. But we also that many of you may feel lonely, maybe even frightened. And we want you to know that we're here for you. And if you'd like a phone call from us, or just to touch base with you, to check in, we would be happy to do that. And that's why we're here. So please let us know, call the temple number, email us. All that information is in the temple bulletin. It's also on our website that you can reach us at any time, and we will certainly respond to you. So we've come to the conclusion of our service, and we'd like to conclude with Shabbat Shalom. Just the old standby.
Let us join together, wishing each other this night, this day, a Sabbath of peace. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, u'mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, u'mevorach. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
God of our ancestors, of our forefathers and our foremothers, as you have let us be here for the Shabbat and spend this time together. May you have us experience the Shabbat and come out of the Shabbat in peace and in health. And let us say, Amen. See you next week.